I want to welcome you to Miami-Dade College's Wolfson campus. We are the home of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program, the Idea Center, the Bit Center, the Makers Lab, our schools of business, fashion, culinary arts, magic, to name a few. We are honored to host this wonderful conversation about banking, finances, and entrepreneurship in South Florida. We are thrilled to have our panelists and participants join us today. We welcome them as well as students and community members who are both online and here present today. This promises to be an insightful and dynamic conversation which I believe will inspire both current and future small business owners in South Florida. Again, thank you for joining us this evening.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Phil Giraffa, and I am the Director of Articulation and Academic Pathways here at Miami-Dade College. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our moderator, Dr. Gustavo Mendez. Dr. Mendez is part of my team with the Prior Learning Assessment Program, does fantastic work with our experiential learners, bringing them in for college credit and helping them on their way to a degree. We have Mr. Pablo Pino, South Florida Market President for TD Bank. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Miss Jeanette Smith. Thank you. She's the Vice President of Haitian American Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for being here. We have Mr. Carlos Llarena, the Lead Business Advisor for Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. We have Dr. Carlos Enrique Alvarado Carrasco, who I know because I've heard when I first started here, I heard stories about how you came through the FTP program, and your story continues to amaze me. Genevieve always says to me, do you remember that person I told you about when you first got here? And I do remember you, and your story is one that I hope inspires many of our foreign trained professional students. We have our very own Mr. Abraham Garcia, Miami-Dade College student and small business owner. So I'd like to welcome you and thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. And without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Mr. Dr. Gustavo Mendez. And again, for our students that are listening online or here in the audience, please do not hesitate to ask any questions based on the discussion that we have here tonight. Thank you so much.
I would like to start by something simple. I remember like 20-something years ago, previous century, I came to the United States and I tried to be a small business owner. And I failed miserably. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. So I had to restart again, and I started like 3 times. And finally I said, okay, I'm not an entrepreneur. That's a lie. I could have been an entrepreneur if I had the guidance that we are going to have here from this esteemed panel. So my first question in this conversation, and then everybody else should join into the conversation, is I would like one of you to tell us a little bit about your organization, how it supports small businesses and entrepreneurs in South Florida. But before that, I would like each one of you to give us tell us a little bit about yourself, starting way over there.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mendez. First and foremost, thank you for inviting me and participating in this panel session. My name is Carlos Llarena. I'm the Lead Business Advisor for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. This is an initiative that was a partnership that has been going on for over 8 years with Miami-Dade College, the Goldman Sachs Foundation, and Babson College. Very happy to be here, and would like to pass the baton to my peer over here, my colleague here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here at Miami-Dade College. My name is Pablo Pino. I'm the Market President for South Florida on the commercial side, and I've been with the bank for roughly 14 years, and we recently, I think a couple of years ago, we partnered up with Miami-Dade College for Scale Up Miami, and we want to make sure that we're always, helping entrepreneurs in the business community attain your goals. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeanette Smith. I'm the Vice President of the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce. We are 10 years strong, May 2022. I'm proud to say that we have a large retention rate of 78. Our directors could bring you over 200 years of experience, from the general manager at the Fort Lauderdale Airport, Vito David, who's the specialist in the school district of Palm Beach. We have experts in management contract, government contract, finance. We have Ms. Martin Piapo from a commercial bank. And we just acquired a space that is basically like a trade and entrepreneurship hub, where people can come and learn about trading, bringing business from Haiti here and vice versa. And we're happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Alvarado. I was a professor at the university for almost 20 years. And along with that, I started like 3 times. I started a new business. And when I finally got a good business going on, I had to migrate. So I've been here in the state for the last 4 years. But Miami-Dade College helped me to open a road here in the state so I can make my own name. Finally, I got my permanent residence, so I'm free now to explore the opportunities here in the States. And as doing that, I'm trying to open my online business. I'm doing advising in food technology, which is my area. And so I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Abraham Garcia. I'm the co-owner of JW Boat Detailing, JW standing for Jenny and Waldemar, the original owners of this company. They're my parents. They started this company in 2008. We deal in boat maintenance and restoration, which specifically deals in polishing, waxing, and detailing boats, leaving them in showroom conditions before sales and after their service. Basically just leaving them ready to take pictures or to be, for a day out on the boat. I've been doing this ever since I was a teenager, so I like to think that I got my technique down. And I'm also a student here at Miami-Dade College. I'm here because I want to learn more about how to run a business and how to not only make a living, but learn how to make money, right? Learn how to manage a business at the most efficient way possible, and just keep on keeping on as everybody else does in this country.
I would definitely piggyback on that. One of the things that the Chamber tries to do is to be a source of referral. We have people from different fields, so whether you're already in business or thinking about going into business, if you're thinking about starting a business, so it's already a good step because you already have the idea, you know what you want to do. So we have everybody here to help you. Now let's say you don't have an idea, but you would love to be an entrepreneur. You could volunteer. And by volunteering, I have a young man, he likes to cook. So I will partner him with somebody who owns a restaurant. So he understands what it is like to be a restaurateur or a restaurant owner for one day, so he could figure out if that's really something that he wants to do. Because oftentimes, several people mentioned that they start a business and then they had to go back and restart it over. I think it's because of lack of support, because you have an idea, you think it's great, but you don't know where to start.
That's good. So, that sounds like a challenge to me. What do you think are the biggest financial challenges to the entrepreneurs of today? Any one of you who feel like answering that question? And what can we tell to the people online? Because I'm looking at the responses that I see there, and the one that amazes me is the one that says, maybe interested in opening a small business, but I find it overwhelming. Any advice to any of those who find it overwhelming, how not to feel overwhelmed?
I would advise that the first thing is to try to get in touch with a business coach, for example, because you have to match what you like to do, what you can do, and also your personality. Are you patient enough? Are you disciplined enough? Can you handle time management? So oftentimes we can go like, you need to have a business plan. Mm-hmm. And the way I look at it is, by asking you to do a business plan, you're going to look around and say, well, most people do not have a business plan. But it's my way of telling you, everything that you have in your head, put it in paper. So it's a little tangible to figure out, okay, I cannot be a marketer. People tell you like, oh, I want to have a business online. This is great. I want to have a beautiful website. They pay for the website. But then they're thinking, oh, I have to pay every month for the maintenance? Oh my God, I have to upload things? So by putting it on paper, or if you do a SWOT analysis to figure out your strength, your weakness, it helps you identify who you want to have as your partner, because this is an adventure. I don't want to look at it just an adventure. So having the right partners is going to help as well.
And you mentioned a keyword, plan. How do I plan? I mean, what are the resources that I have to plan for? How do I really make a plan? Because most people, when you tell them, sit down and write down, and they look at the paper and say, I have no idea. So how do we start a plan?
I want to add something since Mr. Pino is with TD Bank. If you want to look at just having a budget, you want to have a restaurant. You drive by, you say, oh my God, there's a lot of people from Peru here, and I want to open a Peruvian restaurant. But you need to know if your rent is going to be $1,000 a month. Do you have that money? So having a budget would allow you to say, well, I will need 4 people to work for me. My payroll will be so much. My rent will be so much, utility and everything. Can I enter this adventure, or should I stay with my job? And I agree with the fact that working part-time would help. And as we speak about SWOT analysis and market research, I think those big words probably will scare somebody who's not savvy about business. But being an entrepreneur, if you look at our grandparents and people that are from a third world country, for example, considering that we are talking with the foreign training program, if my grandmother has a business and she was selling something, she didn't have a business acumen. But we still want people to have the passion of wanting to do it, because it's the passion that's going to drive you. It's the passion that's going to make the phone that you're going to build different, unique from everybody else. A barber shop. Why would I open another barber shop? Because there's plenty of them. But at my barber shop, when we're done washing the hair, you still clean, they put some freshener, they massage my head, so that gives the value to what I have to offer. So then I could charge more, and I could select the clientele that I want to have.
18 people said that they have no idea on how to draft a business plan.
I want to say a special thank you to the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Jean-Pierre Turgot. When we started 10 years ago, we decided that we want to give free information. So for 10 years, all of our workshops were free. So when we do an event, we invite people to come and learn, no string attached. So when you come, you get to meet somebody else. And I think one of the things that COVID did for us is the fact that people are pushed into the technology, and then now people who knew that they didn't know anything about the technology, they end up paying. So, Mr. Garena said, you need to be able to do something that is different. So how are you going to know if you have to pay somebody and do due diligence? Due diligence is very important. Oftentimes people say, well, you know what, I started doing a website and this person, he took my money and I wasn't satisfied. What did you do to know that this person was credible, that this person wouldn't start and not finish? Did you go to a shop? Did you go to an individual? If that person had died, you would have lost your money. So due diligence, and like Mr. Garcia says, certain things you just need to know. So coaching to me, whether you get it for free, and there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of other organizations, I don't want to start naming them, that are giving free advice, free coaching. But then earlier when I spoke about the personality, sometimes you give somebody something for free, and all you expect of them is to show up and learn. They don't even want to do that. So they would never be successful in business.
South Florida, I know like 3 people who were born in Miami, and 2 of them are my granddaughters. So, not many people who live here were born here. People come from abroad, like Carlos, for example. They may have started a small business in their country. And they say, I'm going to be successful here too, because I was successful there. then they hit the wall. What do they tell those people? What do we tell those people?
The Haitian community, we have a lot of the people who came from Haiti. They're cab drivers. They work in restaurants or hotel or healthcare. But those people, when they left Haiti, let's say they were a plumber, they were a carpenter, and they pushed aside that dream so they could take care of their family. One of the initiatives that we did was to bring those people back to school. If you had a dream, or if you were a carpenter, wouldn't you want to go to school because you already have the skills? You probably don't have the structure to open your business here. I don't have that many regrets. My dad was a plumber in Haiti, and only later on I realized that we could have had a business. I could have made sure that I passed the test because if my English was better than his, and then have a business until he gets to understand the logistics or the requirement here because you already have the skills. Oftentimes, people do not realize when we talk about coaching, you have to be, they call it recycled. You need to go back to school. Even if you're an engineer, you have to go do your continuing education. We need to be able to invest in ourselves because if you cannot invest in yourself, how somebody is gonna give you money? How you could pick up your father's business and continue? How, if I have a restaurant, I could propose that I sell it as a franchise?
And how do we tell the people where to get that kind of assistance, where to learn from?
Yeah, I mean, I think through the Goldman Sachs program, Scale Up Miami here, you have, you have SCORE.
We have SCORE, we have the SDBC. We have too many resources.
SBA.
Yeah, SBA. Yeah, they have classes every week. But it's the commitment of spending that time that's very important. People think that being a business owner is just cool. What they don't understand, it's like business owners work more hours than people who have 9 to 5 because at 5 o'clock you forget about everything until the next day. You have to be able to deliver. I had a gentleman, he came to do some work for us and I said, I am so happy with you because not only you showed up and you delivered. So he stopped and he says, what about the quality of my work? I said, even if it was a good quality, but this is not my priority because the quality, you could think it's the best and then I still have to work with you so we can have that dialogue. But when it comes to you showing up and delivering, this is just on you, bringing it to me for us to be able to have a business. So that's important. And they'll do the business plan and the market research because you would not open, and it happened to me, my first business, I opened it not knowing that the people that I had in mind as niche, they were being moved. So sometimes, let's say you open a restaurant and you're so excited, but because you didn't do the research, you didn't go to the city, and then 2 months prior to your opening, then there's a restaurant similar with more money, more capital, more bang, and then they open. What are you gonna do now? You're gonna be, So the research is important.
So training is essential according to what you have said and what everybody is writing there. Training is essential and also the ability to identify a need that must be covered. So you have to see what others need before engaging into business. And you help people to identify those needs?
Yes. We do an assessment when somebody comes and they start talking to me, and sometimes they say, well, you're so strong. It seems as if I'm discouraging them, but it's not about discouraging. It's being able to see if they really want to do it and how much work they're supposed to put in. We have a roadmap. So that roadmap allows you to understand that there's many different points that you need to cover. Best thing sometimes, the SDBC does a personality test. Just like when you finish high school and they're trying to figure out what you want to do, what you want to be. A lot of people don't want to be customer service. If you ask anybody, would you like to be a salesperson? The first thing they'll say, no. But what they don't understand, if you're going to be a business owner, you need to be able to sell your brand, your products, your services. You need to be able to sell yourself on a daily basis.
Many years ago, I served on an executive board of a chamber of commerce, right? And one of the things we kind of haven't mentioned here, but it's really critical for any type of business, is networking. I'm going to tell you, I was there, and then for about 4 or 5 years. The type of networking opportunities that, there were small businesses that started, and because they had connections to banking and other people there, they were like, I want to expand my business. How can you help me?
I have to confess, and sometimes I feel like a socialite. 80% of my time, I network. And it's very, very important. People do not realize, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. If I don't know you, we don't have, and COVID is just bad for us. I don't have that feeling, that rapport with you, it's not going to happen. I come from a country where we have a casting system where older people feel like they know better than younger people. But younger people have the technology in their hand. So one of the things that we've done, and sometimes people say, well, TJ always have parties. I do not have parties. I have networking events. So I realize a lot of people like jazz. A lot of people like reading. So those kind of groups, because I was going to refer to lead groups and meetups, having an artist from Haiti, even if it's from an older generation, come and perform, it enables me or the chamber to bridge the gap between the older folks and the younger. They'll bring their kids, and they will understand how important for you to create capacity building, rapport, building relationship with people. I mean, I don't care how good you are. If you're not going to provide good customer service, if you're going to be rude, if you're not somebody who's easygoing and have a great personality, you might not be the person answering my phone or providing services for my members. Networking is key, and I'm not telling anybody to do 80% like me, but make the effort. And one of the things that sometimes I tell people that they don't like, you're a business owner and I invite you to a networking event, and you say, oh my God, I don't have any time. I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at you as a business. And I said, if you cannot come, send your cousin. At least somebody will be there representing you, representing your business. You're telling me that you cannot come to a networking event because you're too busy. It's not a good excuse. And sometimes we try to indulge because people don't like to come to breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning. They rather have a happy hour. But happy hour, what are you going to do?
Be happy. Anybody else would like to ask a question to the panel? Yes, Silvia?
In the question when you say where to have resources to learn and everything, I would recommend Miami-Dade College, because we are in the big transition of the COVID. The COVID is bad for the humanity, but it's good for social media, for digital marketing, for communication, for networking, and we have many programs here. Not only the business program, we have the community education. We have other programs that are here with entrepreneurs, and we can help the students and people who want to learn from any level that they want to start. And if you want connections with banks, we have the connections with the banks. We have excellent resources, not only for the Floridian people, for the world. Come here.
I like the fact that you mentioned the bank, because I have one of my favorite bankers. She's there cheering us up. When people open businesses, sometimes they use their personal account. Think that if you're going to open a business, you need to have a business account. And the bank is a great resource, because most of those bankers, they are part of several chambers. We had created great initiative with our local commercial lending bank, and they're looking forward not only to help you with your grant, not themselves personally, but you getting a grant, because sometimes the bank will just give a grant, just like when you're buying a new house. Lending, being able to establish your credit, differentiate your credit business from your business credit. Those things will help. And the business friend will also help you lend that money, because there's a lot of money out there. Relief money, grant money, startup money. I was privileged. I got a grant from Comcast to advertise.
So what kind of advice would you give that person that says, you know what, I want to come, I really want to do this, I have this great idea, but there's this Dunkin' Donuts, there's this Krispy Kreme, and there's me, like how can I compete?
What I say is, do not ask me for a discount, because I can bring the added value. The added value, like right now, I have my girlfriend, she ordered something in December. She just received it. That was a Christmas gift. So the added value that I will tell you is the fact that you could pick up the phone, because I'm local. I could deliver it. So never let, because we spoke about failing. I don't like the word failing because every time we quote unquote fail, we had learned. And I want people to understand that you have to learn to earn. So you have something special. Just like when I was talking about the barbershop, I give you a massage. So this is the reason why my haircut costs $45, but you could go down the street and get it for $10. And you're not gonna have your massage and your hair wash.
Thank you so much to the students that were able to participate online. This is being recorded and we're going to share it with a broader audience as well. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. Appreciate it. Have a nice evening, everybody.
All right.